Hello guys, and today I'm bringing you another deck in my quest to doing every deck list in a video on my channel. And today it's Fluffals. They're a new deck. They were called Furnimal on like the translated version, which is why I've got the deck name as Furnimal before actually making this deck. I thought I'd keep it the same because, you know, there's no point in changing it. But anyway, this deck is like the main deck is like normal animals, and the fusion deck is like really weird animals. Like, it reminds me a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's, if you've ever heard of that. If you ever heard of that game, I think I will be playing that game at some point on the channel, but that's something for the future. And with this deck, it's really like fusion based, and it just bring out normal fusion monsters. I'd say it was more of a casual deck because it's not really fast enough to compete with the decks of today. Really, even though this is a new deck, it can't compete with the bigger decks, I guess so. I haven't been able to compete with them, but simple changes might allow them to, which is why if you want to suggest an improvement, then please comment. And if you'd like to keep up to date with me doing every deck list in a video, then please subscribe. You know, it keeps me going, and it means that people actually use these decks and get inspiration from these decks for their own. So just makes me feel a bit better, and you know, keep counting the subscribers, and they're going up slowly but surely, and just keeps me going really. But anyway, getting on to the deck. The first three monsters is Yugioh Tomahawk, and you can send one Yugioh monster from your hand to your graveyard and inflict 800 damage to your opponent. You can send one Yugioh monster from your deck to the graveyard except Yugioh Tomahawk, and this card's name becomes the sent monster's name until the end phase, which helps really, because if you normal summon that then activate that effect, it means you get the required fusion material for whichever one you want to bring out. Like some of them, that one requires a Frightfur monster, so that might be able through Tomahawk. But like Saw is needed for Leo, Sabers is needed for Bear, Sabers is needed for Wolf, Sabers is needed for Tiger, and Chain is needed for Sheep. So if you want to change up, if you want whichever one you want to choose, you'll have to send it from your deck. So it means there's more opportunity to like get them on the field rather than having just three like Yugioh Sabers, and then that's only a there's only three out of 40 chance of drawing it to your deck. Well, 44 in this because I've increased the number over like my other decks because it's needed with this deck really. But it means you've got like a higher chance of getting the one you want and summoning the fusion monster you actually need at the time, rather than having to settle for one that I've drawn Chain, I have to summon Sheep. But if you draw Tomahawk, you can bring out either using the Sabers or the Saw. So that's the reason. It's like the main Yugioh card in this deck. Then going on to the next card, it's free Fluffal Dog. Let's call Furnimal at the top. And when this card's normal or special summon from the hand, you can add one Yugioh Sabers or one Fluffal monster from your deck to your hand, except Fluffal Dog. You can only use this effect Fluffal Dog once per turn. So if you normal summon it or special summon it, you can add Yugioh Sabers from your hand. If you've got a Polymerization or the other Furnimal Poly equivalent, then you can bring out a fusion monster straight away. So it's a searcher, and it helps you bring out your big monsters. That's what it does. It's good. The next card is another Yugioh, and it's Yugioh Chain. I've put two in, and when this card declares an attack, you can add one Yugioh Chain from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent from the hand of the field to the graveyard, you can add one Frightfur card from your deck to your hand. You can only use the one Yugioh Chain once per turn, and effect per turn, and only once that turn. So it's just for adding another chain to your hand, which is the only one that brings out Sheep. But it also means you can bring out where is it? Frightfur Factory, which you know, it's what you use to fusion some of them, as well as Polymerization. Or you can bring out Frightfur Fusion, which is the fusion one actually. Sorry, not Frightfur Factory. Got mixed up then. But you can add Frightfur Fusion to your hand. So with that. Then the next card is one Fluffal Bear. You can send this card from your hand or graveyard to set to one toy vendor directly from your deck to your hand, to your spam trap card zone. You can tribute this card, then target one Polymerization in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use one Fluffal Bear effect per turn, and only once that turn. Don't know why they have that. They could just have it use it once per turn. I don't know why they put that, but anyway, that's just one bear. It's just for recycling Polymerization if it's in your graveyard. So it also means you can get toy vendor easily onto your field. It's a bit like Bear and Tenki a little bit with this deck. Next monster is Edgimp Sabers, which was the first Edgimp card to be brought out, I'm pretty sure. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can place one card from your hand onto the top of your deck and special summon this card in defense position. You can use this effect of Edgimp Sabers once per turn. So that means it just brings it from the graveyard to be able to use it to fusion. So if it's already in the graveyard, send it through Tomahawk to the graveyard, then bring it out. You've got two Edgimp Sabers to fusion summon two different Fright Furs. The next monster is two Edgimp Saw, and this guy, when this guy is normal summon, you can send one Fluffal monster from your hand or graveyard, from your hand to the graveyard, and then draw two cards. Then place one card from your hand on either the top or the bottom of your deck. You can only use this effect of Edgimp Saw once per turn. So as well as being one of the required monsters for the fusions, you can also switch up your hand a bit and either put a card that's useless onto the bottom of your deck, then you get a different draw next turn. So it's just another card which is quite good actually, to be honest, on its own, but it's just another card to have in there. Then we've got 3 Fluffal Owl, and when this card is normal summoned or special summoned from your hand, you can add 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand. You can pay 500 life points to fusion summon 1 Fright Fur fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or your side of the field as fusion materials. You can only use 1 Fluffal Owl once per turn and only once that turn. So you can add the only polymerization from your deck to your hand. You can run more polymerization if you want, but then Fluffal Owl can actually be, you pay 500 and you can fusion summon easily enough, so just depends what you want to do, really. Then we've got 3 Sheep. This is one of the newer Fluffal monsters, and it's really good. I really like this card, and it reminds me a little bit of Marip from the Pokemon series. But its effect is, if you control a Fluffal monster other than Fluffal Sheep, you can special summon this card from your hand, which allows for either a level 3 overlay if you want to put a level 3 in, or it means you can fusion summon from your side of the field or whatnot. And then, or you can use its effect, which its next effect is you can summon one other Fluffal monster you control to the hand, special summon Edgimp monster from your hand or graveyard. You can use this effect of Fluffal Sheep once per turn. So if you normal summon a Fluffal, special summon Fluffal Sheep using this effect, bounce the other Fluffal, then bring out Edgimp Tomahawk, send one from your graveyard deck to the graveyard, then Edgimp Tomahawk gets a different name, and then you can summon with them. So that's just one play you can do with that, and that's why Sheep is really good. Then I've only got 1 Fluffal Cat, which is if this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material for a fusion summon, you can target 1 polymerization in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You can only use this effect of Fluffal Cat once per turn. You don't need any more than that because I've only got 1 polymerization in this deck, but if you want to increase the amount of polymerizations in the deck, you can increase the amount of Fluffal Cats and Fluffal Bears if you want to. The next monster is Fluffal Rabbit, and if this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material for a fusion summon, you can target 1 Edgimp Sabers or 1 Fluffal monster in your graveyard, except Fluffal Rabbit. Add it to your hand. You can only use this effect of Fluffal Rabbit once per turn, so it's just for recycling the Edgimp Sabers or the Fluffal monster back to your hand, and only one's needed. If it's any more, it's a bit cloggy. So then I've got 3 Fluffal Mouse. Loads of people don't run this, but I think it's actually really good. I think it says on here that it's OCG only. I'm not sure if it's in the TCD yet, but that's one to put in for the future if you're making this deck in real life. And Fluffal Mouse's effect is during your main phase, you can special summon up to 2 Fluffal Mouse from your deck. This card can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. You cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck during this turn, except Fright Fur monsters. So it means you can just summon multiple Fright Fur monsters if you really want to. But it's just there for bringing out Swarm in the field, and you could put rank 1 XYZs in, I guess, to XYZ them next turn. It'd have to be the next turn because you can't summon other than Fright Fur monsters the turn you activate it. And maybe they'll actually give us a level 1 Fright Fur XYZ. I wonder if they'll actually bring out any Fright Fur XYZs and stuff. The next card is Start of the Spirals, which is Fright Fur Fusion, which is I was going on about earlier. And fusion summon 1 Fright Fur fusion monster from your extra deck by managing fusion material monsters listed on it from your side of the field or graveyard. You can only activate 1 Fright Fur fusion per turn. So it's just an extra polymerization. You can add it to your hand through the monster's effects, and it's good. This revolves a lot around banishing. So if they bring back Return from a different dimension, I would generally put it in this deck. Fusion Gate is always another card you can put in if you want to. Just depends on how you want to run it. But this is my basic deck list, and it's just to give you a little bit of inspiration, really. Then I got 1 Rejeki, standard 1 polymerization, you know what it does. I got 2 Stitching Reborn, which is such a rebirth in the TCG, and target one Fluffal or Fright Fur monster in your graveyard and special summon it. With its effects negated, you can only activate one such a rebirth per turn, which means you can just bring back another material for, like, you can bring a Fright Fur material back for where is it? There it is. For this one, Saber Tiger. Bring back a Fright Fur from your graveyard, then fusion summon with it to summon this. Look, see, they do look creepy as crap. They do look like something out of Five Nights at Freddy's. I think that might have got where they got the inspiration for this. I got 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, you know what it does. And I got 3 Fright Fur Factory. You can banish 1 Polymerization spell card or fusion spell card from your graveyard, except diffusion wave motion. Fusion summon 1 Fright Fur monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or side of the field as fusion materials. So they can bring cards back onto your side of the field, then you can use them through this to fusion summon your bigger monsters. And then if this card's sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Fright Fur fusion, add it to your hand. You can only use the effect of Fright Fur Factory once per turn. So it can, if you banish a Fright Fur fusion, it recycles it, so it keeps the deck replenished. So I might actually put in another Fright Fur fusion. It keeps the deck like replenished with the Fright Fur fusions, because it's quite easy to run out of the fusion spell cards. Then the next one is Toy Vendor, which is the main, well, it's the first main spell card in the deck. It's not so big anymore, I don't think, but once per turn you can discard 1 card, draw 1 card and reveal it. Then if it's a Fluffal monster, you can special summon once from your hand, otherwise discard the card you drew. If this card isn't to graveyard, you can add 1 Edge Sabers or 1 Fluffal monster from your deck to your hand. So it's really just for searching and adding cards to your hand and just keeping the deck flowing, really. So it is still one of the main cards on the deck, but it isn't the sole main card like it used to be when they first came out. Then going to the traps, it's just 5 staple traps really. 1 bottomless, 3 threatening raw, and 1 compulsory. Going on to the extra deck, we've got 2 Fright Fur Saber Tiger. Why did I go with Edge? And when this goes to fusion summon, you can target 1 Fright Fur monster in your graveyard, special summon it. All Fright Fur monsters you control gain 400 attack. If this card was fusion summoned using 3 or more monsters, it cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. So if you summon Fright Fur fusion monster and then 1 or more Fluffal Edge monsters, if you got them on your field and then fusion summon with them, it is indestructible. It is indestructible. It's got 2,800 attack, and it's indestructible. It cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. So you've just, they can't attack you directly once you summon this. That's OP. I didn't realise how OP it was until coming back to it. I got 2 Fright Fur Leo, and 1 Edge Saw and 1 Fluffal monster that must be fusion summoned and cannot be special in other ways. You can target 1 face of monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of the destroyed monster. This card can attack directly this turn you activate this effect. You can only use the effect of 1 Fright Fur Leo per turn. But this is an enjoyable deck, and it's quite fun to play, so it's a bit like the Madolches really. Nothing to do with the Madolches, but they're just like cute monsters and a little deck to do things with. I'll come to Madolche in the future, of course, because, you know, I'm doing every single archetype. And next month, I haven't actually read out Fright Fur Bear yet, but Edge Sabers plus Fluffal Bear. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can equip that monster with this card as a quick spell card. With this effect, the equipped monster gains 1,000 attack. So if you destroy something, it becomes a 3,200 attack monster. If you keep destroying it, it keeps gaining 1,000 attack. And if you've got the Saber Tiger on the field, it gains another 400 attack, so it can get to really high attacks, that monster. That's why I've got it in. Then we've got 2 Fright Fur Wolf, Edge Sabers plus 1 or more Fluffal monsters, and it must be fusions from the above fusion material monsters, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This guy can attack a number of times each battle phase, up to the number of fusion material monsters for its fusion summon. So if you have 3 mouse on the field, then 1 Edge Sabers in your hand, you've used 4 materials, so it can attack 4 times in a battle phase. And it's only got 2,000 attack, but with Saber Tiger on the field against another 400, so it'll be 2,400 attack. So they can get really big monsters, and attacking multiple times, it can really cause some problems for your opponent. Then we've got Fright Fur Tiger, Edge Sabers plus 1 or more Fluffal monsters. You can only control 1 Fright Fur Tiger. When this goes fusion summon, you can target a number of cards on the field up to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon. Destroy them. All Fright Fur monsters you control gain 300 attack for each Fluffal and Fright Fur monster you control. So if you've got Tiger, Saber Tiger, and then Bear on the field, you've got some pretty high attacking monsters and pretty good monsters. It's just ridiculous, this deck is. Then we've got Fright Fur Sheep, and we've got it's made through Edgimp Chain and one Fluffal monster, and if this card attacks or is attacked, opponent can activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to graveyard, or if this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, and if you do, again, you can use the effect of Frightful Sheep once per turn. So once per turn, if it's destroyed, it brings itself back with 800 attack, 2000 range. So if they activate Mirror Force, send all your cards to graveyard, Sheep regenerates itself and gains 800 attack. They can really boost their attacks. Like their standard card looks quite weak with the attacks for levels and stuff, but then they gain attack from each of his effects, so it's just ridiculous. Then we've got 3 Gacha in here just for a little bit of extra if you've got like level 2s on the field, like Sheep and Owl and stuff. And yeah, that's only Sheep and Owl, but if you've got them on the field and then you can't fuse some of them, just summon them out. I will put in some rank 1 XYZs, but that's up to you. There's not really standard ones for this deck, so it just depends what you want to put in. Like the Utopia rank 1 is actually quite good, but it depends on your choice really. But anyway, thank you for watching. This was my Fluffal deck, and I hope to see you next time, guys. If you like this video and or my other videos, then please subscribe. Your support is appreciated.